What's up? Good music. Surprised what you can find on YouTube that's copyright free. Shout out to Mokka, Mokka. High speed sports racing, no copyright music. Love it. All right, let's get started. We're going to do a quick one today, guys. I say that every time, and sometimes it is quick, sometimes it's not, right? Keep me honest here, but I want to do a little bit every day. It's my goal. So let me share my screen this time. Totally messed that up last time. Cool. So I want to show you guys this. I've been into F1 for a few years now. You could probably guess what got me into it. But for our racing game, Vibe Racer, I thought it'd be cool if we had Claude reproduce last weekend's Grand Prix circuit, the F1 Miami circuit. It's called The Circuit, I guess. I don't know. But this is on the F1MiamiGP.com websites, and this shows you a map of it with all the turns. So they start here and they go this way. They count that out as a turn, by the way. All the way around, right? And I had a ton more track pieces here, if you can't tell. So we got things like it started out as S curves, right? Those are pretty simple new things that I had added, and then I got these sweeping turns, and then eventually I had to go to mega sweeping turns, hairpins, tight hairpins. So this is like the next level. I kept just telling Claude, like, I really want you to get as close to this map as you can. And so it thought about it, and it kept trying to add things, but it kept pushing back. It's like, I don't want to change the grid system. It really wanted to keep the grid system. But unfortunately, this is like the best it can kind of get with the grid system. Actually, there's something I want to show you guys. Let me see if I can find it. Give me 1 second. So in addition to using Claude Code from my phone, I also sometimes use just regular Claude chat. And the reason I mention that is because I was talking to Claude through the chat about this problem, and it was actually building an artifact. So I use it for artifacts. So if you guys don't know what artifacts are, you could use the desktop app, but what I have right in front of me is actually the web app. Let me show you. So on the left is Claude Code on the web, and on the right is just Claude.ai. So the chat, and this is what I was talking about before. These are artifacts. They're usually just web pages, but I really like it. It's really good about diagramming. When you have a visual problem like this, it's good to break it down. So this is the last iteration of review that it did on our track pieces to say, like, you're still missing stuff. And so I would actually take the output from here and pass it back to Claude Code, and then Claude Code, because this doesn't have the context of my project, right? So it's a little more abstract in its thinking, but it also is not limited by what's in the project, whereas Claude Code would always be like, that's too big of a refactor, I don't want to do that. Really push back. Here's what I wanted to show you guys. So this is an overlay that Claude Desktop, or I guess Claude Chat did. You can see all the turns here. This is our current track. I guess the color is our current track, or maybe I have it the other way around. Which one is which? Standard pieces, flex angle, original Miami reference. Okay, so the original Miami reference. So this is after we added flex, I think it's called flex straights or flex diagonals or something like that. But it really got into some calculus here, geometry, or whatever this is, like talking over angles most likely. Full corner mapping, right? So it says exactly what pieces you could use to create the colored version of this, but still, that's not good enough, right? This is supposed to be freaking straight, and the best it can do for the straight is this, and then a bunch of these. Like, nah, I don't like it. So I kept going back and forth, and so it calls that 95%. I don't know, that would you call that 95%? I would not. And so then I was going back and forth, and then this is what Claude Code, this is the sort of things Claude Code would push back on. Stage 0 substrate shipped. So we started planning to go away from the grid system and allow for for angled pieces. It started with just diagonal, and those already have problems. And part of the problems there are because it's grid based, but you can see it. You can see the gaps. These were not connecting properly to the point where when you drive on it, you get here to here, it thinks you're off road. So there's like a legit problem with this system when you're doing angles. And so it was already refactoring, or more than refactoring, it was adding in new pieces and capabilities and trying to address the off-road issue. And so it had all this plan, these different stages, and it wanted to do one PR at a time. And so it's like this was like, we already did this during the latest part of the refactor. We did this frame xz theta thing. Like, they just went hardcore on the math stuff. We got this transform now, but then it's talking about what we need to do in the next one, blah blah blah. And then I had this guy, this chat, go back and say why, check its work to see if the math actually adds up, and it wanted to check a couple other things, a sanity check. So Claude Code did the sanity check, and it goes all three reads check outs. The anti-parallel walkthrough is the one I most wanted to see. That's the kind of bug hides for months and then explodes when one piece happens to land near, is that theta? I forget which one that is. Theta equals pi. Glad it's correct. So just a tip for you guys. You can use Claude Chat to get these artifacts, and also to validate the reasoning. I was using 4.7 adaptive here, the reasoning of Claude Code itself. Anyway, so I have Claude Code running now, and when you're in the cloud, it uses PRs and the cloud runtime or whatever, where it doesn't have access to your local things. And so it opened a PR, and I noticed the PR had a ton of comments from Copilot, and I told it to go review those comments critically, and review those comments and respond to them. So let me see if it did that. It did. So one thing I do on my projects now is I create a rule set in GitHub for the repo, and I say always run quality checks and copilots. And then in my Claude.md or MD, or I guess agents.md, I tell it must go in and resolve, like actually try to address or push back if it's wrong, any Copilot feedback, and then it's supposed to write a response. Half the time it doesn't actually do that. I have to go remind it. It's funny, it said generated by Claude. It normally doesn't say that, so I have it tag it like this. Otherwise it looks like I'm saying it, and I do this with real people sometimes, and I try to check them before I let it go wild. And I have an actual explicit check now that goes, I need to, review it before you send it. But sometimes I miss stuff or whatever, and it's like just being dumb. And then I read it again, and I'm like, it's not right. And I have to delete it and do it again. So yeah, just letting people know so that they don't waste time. Like, what is Randy trying to say? They could just look at it and go, you know what, this is bot nonsense. I love using bots, but I like doing it transparent, even though I said I don't like putting Claude on my commits. Whatever. I'm a walking, what's the word? Walking. Hey, Squirrel's back. What's up, Squirrel? Did you ever try your map? All right. Most of these are outdated anyways, but in order to close the PR, I have to resolve them, I think. So I'm going to resolve all these. And yes, I am trusting Claude here. If it's broken, I'm going to fix it in the next one. I actually have users, players for this game, so I could theoretically break something and blow up the DB with all the tracks in it. So I actually told people, get on the Discord, because I told people in the Discord to take screenshots of their tracks, because I'm not trying to like maintain old schemas too much. I'm not. Claude's pretty good about trying, but if we introduce this like track editor v2 or whatever, I want to make sure it you guys can recreate them. Like, one thing we could probably do is take the screenshots and have Claude recreate it, just like I showed you. Claude's pretty good about knowing what track pieces it needs. So take a screenshot of your tracks just in case you lose them. I'm not building any kind of migration. It should be backwards compatible, but just in case. All right, and then I'm gonna tell Claude he missed one. All right, and so while that works on this crazy redesign of track editing, and I don't know when you hopped in, Squirrel, but this is like all the new advanced pieces. It's getting crazy. I was just saying how I'm trying to actually get the Miami F1 Grand Prix. Um, it's way off here. Claude says it could get closer here, which it claimed 95% accuracy. I don't think that's 95% accurate, but whatever. Not good enough, so I'm going through a crazy multi-PR long redesign for this game. I beat your high score. Did you really? Yeah, so the thing about, let's talk about it. So in addition to the track editor, I added this, which allows you to choose your tuning for each track. I intended for it to just ask you once. Talk about not doing migrations. I wanted it to, because before it would default to whatever the track designer chose as a tuning, and if they didn't choose one, it would be whatever the hard-coded default tuning is. And so I instead wanted to give you a choice for any tracks that already had a tuning set. You can choose the save setup for this track, or the default stock one, or one of yours. I don't know why one is considered stock. I'm pretty sure I created that. And if you create tunings via the Tune Lab, they'll all be listed here, right? So anyways, I wanted this to pop up once when you go to an existing track. So that's the F1 Miami, but let me go to Squirrel. I don't know if you played since then. Oh, was it not Squirrel? What did we name your track? I thought it was Squirrel. Did I spell it wrong? Did I spell it wrong originally? A Squirrel? That's funny. Yeah. Did I actually break it already, or? Well, let's go to the home page. I bet it's on there. People loving that Mute City. F1 Ritesh Santi. Dang, lost it. It was Yay. Y-A-Y. Oh, like, was that your initials on there? Oh, there it is. Squirrel. Boom. Let me see if I have spelled it wrong. 2 L's maybe? Maybe I missed an L. Whatever. All right, so I'm using a desktop here, so I'll just go with the default car. But one thing about this, I wanted to show folks, because there was some confusion. We actually track which tuning you used or which control setup you used. So I'm on keyboard, but there's also controller. Oops, and I totally missed the exit. I'm gonna restart, or miss the checkpoint. Go to focus here. And so there's a clear advantage to people who use the controller. From what I hear, I actually haven't set up my controllers on PC on my Mac yet. I was thinking about trying it with my ROG Ally. See, you can't really go straight even on keyboard. I'm gonna fix that. I swear, one of these days. On really long straights, it's obvious. So that blue line, by the way, is the Ghost Car's path. So if you want to try to match it, cannot run over curbs in this one. It is too big of a damper. All right, so but you can cheat, right? So let me just show you what I mean by cheat here. So if I go to the tuning lab, wait, it has an extra L? Oh, you just realized you have an extra L? You did change it. See, you're gaslighting me. You got 2 L's. I don't. All right. Well, your track's staying with 2 L's. I'm not going to do a migration to change it to 1 L. It's better as 2 anyways. Let's see. So start tuning session. I hate this intermittent screen, by the way. You can look at your saved tunings, recent changes, and import a JSON. Copy all saved changes. Okay, whatever. So I want to say I'm on a keyboard, and I let you tag. I don't know if this matters, but we'll call this a twisty. Okay. So what you do is you do a test lap on just a basic. Not basic. I guess it does have curves. I'm not really paying attention. I think I showed this on Saturday, but yeah, you get all this cool telemetry. It's like real F1 here. This is over time. This is speed. You can also look at it over the track using this gradient here, and these triangles are where you went off, or where I went off. Oh, nice. Squirrel, did you ever end up sending me your link to your game? You just finished some graphic stuff. I want to see it. So you were gonna join. I asked you to join the Discord and send it to me there. I don't know if I need to change any settings or anything on the Discord. Let me know. Yeah, so I don't actually remember. You can look this when I went off track. This is interesting. Let's see if we can figure this out. When I went off track, not that I like that was my best race ever. I probably made mistakes, but the car definitely has some problems. Um, at least for the way I like it. Okay, so I ran off when it was 24.9 meters per second. Whereas, what is the max? Oh, 96%. So that 96 meters per second is the maximum, it sounds like. All right, so when it went off, I was almost going the maximum in both times. And I was steering to the right both times. I think that's just because it's a right-handed track. What else do I know? My throttle was on. This time I actually tried to not throttle, and I still went off the road. Exit speed, so just like how slow I was going when I was exiting. Somehow this one, full speed, I don't know, something might be going on there. It seems a little off. Max offline 2.9 meters. Oh, that's cool. So the line is the racing line, I think, of the ghost car, maybe. That's cool. And that was my heading. So if this is the first triangle, it would be this one. And so my heading was probably need like a direction on here. I'm not sure where negative 148 degrees would be. Is it true? Is this 0? And then 180 would be down here. So that'd be like 91. So I was like angled this way, which makes sense because I'm trying to go around this corner maybe. I guess I would have been going right and then trying to go left if you look at it upside down. Anyways, someone could probably make sense of this, like a real track go-kart master or something. But the idea is you answer these survey questions. Top speed on the long straights felt too slow. Now you can see where this is going. Wait, if I'm too slow, does that mean I can get a boost to my top speed if I do this survey? Am I going to beat Squirrel's high score just by tuning? Possibly. Let's try. Pick up acceleration off the line. Again, I'm going to say too slow off the line. Braking before corners felt. I actually don't know how to judge that one right now because I wasn't holding back. I wasn't using a brake button or anything. Tight U-turn at low speed felt. I didn't actually do a U-turn, so I don't know. I don't think our track has a U-turn, but I guess I could have done one anyways. Our test track. Steering at top speed felt. Okay, so it was either understeer or I don't know what the cause was. I'm not actually going to touch it. When I let off the throttle, I'm going to say it rolled too much because there was one sign that I went off even though I wasn't throttling. So let's just see what that does to the tuning. If I say slam to a stop versus keep rolling, if I say 2 for the keep rolling forever. No, sorry. No, yes. And then off-track penalty, it's too punishing, so I'm going to hit a 5 here, which is a total cheat if you think about it. And the thing is, this is not going to put the max or minimize the off-track. You would have to do a couple more sessions to really do it. I don't seem to have anything that lets you manually adjust these. I thought I did at one point. But anyways, here's what I recommended I change. Max speed goes up. So like just the fact that I can change my max speed is like cheating, right? But the whole point of this was originally so I can get the perfect tuning. But then I realized I don't know what the perfect tuning is. And then especially for control schemes, right? So if we all make our own tracks and you have our different controls and we all like, maybe I can look at the data and see what the, median favorite, median max speed is for a race and then enforce that on that track or something. But like for now, we're in the learning stages. We're just seeing what's fun. So go ahead, hack it, cheat it, put as much speed on there as you want. Obviously you don't want too much because you are going to like blow past the checkpoints or whatever. But yeah, go play with this. And so now I can drive again. It was a weird flow. It's still a little weird, but like you would have to save and exit in order to actually save it. Obviously Discord won't save it. Discard won't save it, but now it will save it when you drive again. So it's like an auto save thing. So now this is the new tuning. And so I went a little off the road there and it didn't completely stop me. I let up there and it kept rolling. So it's not like it doesn't still have some momentum when you roll. Was that any worse? I didn't actually look at the time. But yeah, let's say I don't want to do this. So I used to discard this run, and which I think is valid, right? You're like, I don't want to tune it anymore. I just wanted to test my last tuning. So you discard it. Again, the flow is kind of garbage. And then you kind of get here, and like this button is kind of hidden. It's kind of annoying. But yeah, it's saved because I had 2 before. And then there's this, I'll say that back button. I didn't mean to hit it there. Tuning lab. Recent changes 5. I think it was 4 a second ago. So auto changes, auto saving is doing something interesting. All right, so today recommended lab, meaning the tuning lab recommended this, but there was no actual change. No change. What does that mean, no change? Yeah, this might actually be broke. All right, we're gonna have to go back to that, but I'm assuming it saved the tuning with today's date. It thinks it's the 5th. It's using UTC, so that should fix that to use local time. Someone write that down as a bug. All right, so on, it's funny because when I tested it, I ended up getting a slower time, I think, than, well, maybe this is just a different tuning. Not sure. Anyways, I could copy it. I'll do that. Or I could just click use this setup. What does that do? It's now your active setup. Okay, so then when I go back to Squirrel, again, that flow's garbage, right? Like no one's gonna want to do that, but it's there. These options are there. So if I say last use setup, or see, I don't even, I just click it because I don't know. I said use the setup, but like, is it the one I said to use, or is it literally the last one I used on this track? So this is confusing. Again, I don't know why 1 is stock. So instead I'm just gonna click this one, right? This is the one I chose. And then there's always use the setup for this track is interesting. I don't know if it even respects that. All right, but I have a higher fast speed. I'm 68 miles per hour. I'm gaining on the ghost car even though I started late. My off-road is not that penalizing. Like I'm going off-road and I'm still gonna kick your ass, Squirrel. Watch. Oh, I missed a checkpoint. I can't, even with cheats, I can't. I mean, what does that mean when the game designer is not good at his own game? It's gotta mean something. I do want to try controller. I mostly play on my phone, which I'm getting better at, but honestly, phone controls are just, they're hard. I did it again, didn't I? I think that one counted though. I just can't talk and play. Look at it, it's about to catch up on the straight, right? So clearly there's a leaderboards. You still beat me. That's insane that I'm that bad, but here we go. It's also hard to do it on your first one because like the ghost starts right off the line. Maybe the time shouldn't start until you go. Let's write that down as a feature request. I just need to let off the damn gas. I'm just like holding the gas the whole time. This is embarrassing. It's fine. I let off there and it was better. There we go. All right, Squirrel. See, I beat your time, right? But I mean, it doesn't, there's no, okay. The leaderboards are like buried now. I put them in a race, but these are the leaderboards. All right. So, oh, you know what's funny? You actually already were beat. This is Santiago, my editor. And then that must have been, I don't know, what does it say? Yeah, a few days ago. But then you came back and you beat it again. So that kind of steals some of the fun, the fact that I was able to just beat you with a better tuning, but maybe not. Maybe now that you know you can tune as well, maybe you'll come back and beat me. Maybe that's the fun. But one thing I wanted to point out here is it does say it was on keyboard, whereas all of Santiago's were on controller. So you can at least tell, but maybe we do flavors of the leaderboard where we filter keyboard only, controller only, mobile only, just for, just so it's fair. The one thing that makes that hard though is on the home screen. Oh, there's all my session stats. I don't know if anyone's gonna use that. It's a lot. Share session. Oh yeah, that's still broke on web. So the one thing that doesn't really work here is you beat this. So if we look at Squirrel, yeah, there's my new time. But that was set with a specific tuning and it was set on keyboard. But like, what if I wanted the controller time? So a feature here would be to show top 3 times by setup maybe, or some way filter it, or I think just show 3 times for the different setups, but then that still doesn't take into account tuning. But there actually is. I didn't see it there, but there's a way to copy someone's tuning. That's what I was trying to look for here, and I forgot. If I click this, maybe. There you go. Copy JSON. So this was his tuning. Let's see how similar that is to. All right, so this must be default because I don't see any like orange. And yeah, okay, so this is acceleration change. The only thing he changed was acceleration. So technically, if I wanted to use his, I could. But if you look at mine, boom, I cheated. Max speed. So I think we have enough controls in here where this could still, why we're like, at least why this is like in beta or whatever, and we're messing around with it. There's no reason you can't do any tuning you want. But we do need to find a way to like, I don't know, maybe you can enforce if it's your track. So if you go to edit this track, I think you can choose, you can edit the music that shows by default. You can edit the biome, time of day, let the player pick versus you pick as the track editor. There should be, or maybe we got rid of it, but I thought there was something in here about tunings. Yeah, it's not very clear if there is like a track specific tuning. May have like gotten rid of that or never exposed it in the UI. I think technically it exists. So whatever tuning like the creator used maybe when they edited the track. So what I want to do is I want to let the track decide what tunings are available or something. I'm on the fence about it though. It's like you wouldn't limit someone to what controls they have to use, like, oh, this is only for controllers, would you? So then there's also something to like not wanting to limit people's preferences when it comes to tunings. But obviously some tunings are like OP are just like overpowered. So we'll have to figure, we'll have to work through that. But yeah, so one thing I want to fix is this whole thing. It pops up every time. It definitely shouldn't. All right. What else? What did I? Let's go check up on this guy. I had to read chat as well. Sorry. Squirrel says, "Oh, you hold up. You're gonna show me your game, right? You change the version. It will run on the web. Oh wait, never mind. It blocks the link. Yeah, you got to join the Discord. I think. Is there a way for me to show it to you without joining the Discord server? Oh yeah. If you don't want to join, that's cool. Just spell it out or something." It'd be funny is if you could put it in the name of your track or something. That would be, I bet you could. I don't think I'm filtering anything. You could do like, go to, I don't think you can do like a crazy new track name, but you could do like yourmom.com. You can't do dots, but you could do like fake url.com. I wonder how far that would get you. You could try that. You advertise your own game in my game. Do it. I don't know if you still have the link or not, but here it is. All right. And then for anyone who joins, who's cool joining the Discord, I will post that again as well. I should put it on the website. That's what I'm missing. Okay, we're gonna do that right now. So we'll do that locally. We don't need to use. Let me open a new session. I don't think you can change the name, but you can create any track you want on the home screen by going to. Technically, you can just type it into the browser. If you type / whatever you want, it will, and it doesn't exist, it'll ask you, do you want to create a track with that name? So like you could just go here / new name, and then it will ask you if you want to create the track. Does that make sense? All right, so I want to go look, see into randroid.dev. All right, so Claude knows how to do this. Update the cards and counts now that we have new open source repos. And then what else? Also, add links to my YouTube, asking folks to subscribe, as well as to my Discord. So Discord is that guy, and then the YouTubes is at Randroid's Dojo. Cool. So a little update to the website. I used to do my website in, I don't know, Squarespace or some stupid template, but then I redid it a while ago, and with Claude, I could probably do an update to the UI. It probably looks like Claude from, a few months ago, Claude, but there's better UI design now. I don't know, can you guys tell? If I told you this red used to be purple, you'll definitely know what version of Claude I used. But yeah, my blog's on here as well. I haven't posted in a while. Been a year actually, almost. Wow. Vibe coding plus software engineering, a partnership, not a competition. Cool. Yeah. But these are all, I never scrolled down this far, but these are all the projects I don't actually have hosted to run. Like this is an Unreal Games. You can't really host it without a ton of effort, obviously, making a build. Flipbox is my second brain. It is hosted, but in order to use it, you kind of have to host your own. This thing didn't really work the way I wanted it to. It was supposed to be an native extension for Mac OS. This was my Doom coding app, which is no longer needed because you can just do it from Claude now. You can actually do it from Warp as well. I don't know if you guys use Warp, but Warp just went open source. I recommend you use it. But like, for example, if I sent you this link, I think you would have to, I have to log in, it says. I don't know how I got logged out, but you can just click this remote control, and then it's essentially just a SSHing into the terminal, but it's like a remote desktop, essentially, for just the terminal. It works okay. But the real thing I like to use is Claude's handoff, or what is it called now? Remote control. Same name, I guess, but this one is Warps. This slash command is connect this terminal to remote control sessions, and then you go to the web version of Claude or your desktop, and you will actually see it. You know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that right now. So not with that one because it's currently running, but let me do this one. Yeah, so there's a link to it, but I'm also already there, so I can just show you. So Claude Code was doing something in a cloud session, but if you actually go to, that's recents. If you go, the screen's too small, but if you just go to claude.ai/code, you'll see it. So this should show all sessions. If I refresh, it's not there for some reason. What did it actually say? It says active. It's definitely there. I wonder if this is just Claude being dumb. It's this one right here, actually. I see it. And so this is my current local conversation, and anything I do here will actually not use the cloud services, but it will use the hosted environment. It will use my environment, not the hosted environment. So let me finish what I was doing with this session while I'm at it. This was something else I really want to show you guys for my new process for having a loop and build out a game autonomously. I was working on the process, the meta process. But before I actually go into that, I just want to finish what this was doing. So synced main, what's next, strongest first slice candidate under the new scaffold is the post MVP field pass cluster. Small, self-contained, and is the prerequisite for verifying the qualitative gates we just installed, concretely muzzle flash tracer. So this is this game. Do you guys remember? I briefly showed how terrible this is. It might have changed a bit. Let's see. Okay. I don't think it changed much. Yeah. But that was one of two games that kind of went off the rails. This one did a ton of features. That one was just very MVP. But this is the one with like the upgrades and stuff. But then the actual game was just garbage. it didn't actually have racers. It's, supposed to be Top Gear 2, and it didn't have music. Didn't have racers. The cars look like crap. Now it has a car, so it got a little better, but it's so glitchy. And then it just disappears on the hill. It's supposed to disappear over the hill, not right when it gets to it. This like movement is terrible. Yeah, we talked about this, right? And so even though it did a ton of features, it didn't really come out as well as Vibracer did. And so I kind of worked on a skill, which I ended up naming. Can't load it there. I mean, I can, but it will actually show you here as I type spiral. So spiral is a new skill. It ends up working really well, or it depends on, it ends up initiating randroid loop at the end to run. Randroid loop is the Ralph loop skill that I created a while back that uses, it works in Codex or Claude. Codex and Claude both. Sorry, give me a second. So I was just reading chat. It's GML? That's awesome. I actually did a course on GML. That's so funny. Full circle. Game maker language. I think that's what you're talking about. Santi, don't kill me for jumping to something completely different, but now I have to. Game maker 2, lynda.com, Randy Lutkevich. So there was this company called lynda.com that got bought by LinkedIn and now is LinkedIn Learning. But I think this is my old post somewhere. Yeah. So I actually made, hey, it's still there. I actually made this course on Game Maker 2 right when it came out. I have no idea if it still works. I don't think they're charging for it anymore. It's still on here, so I guess they will. I swear, I get like 5-cent royalties from this still to this day. I made this back in 2017. I'm assuming that's what you meant by GML, Squirrel, Game Maker language, but if not, funny. Reminded me of this. All right, you said you are going to join Discord briefly, send the link, and then quit. Okay, you're going to get flagged as a spammer for doing that probably. No, go ahead, do it. All right, I welcomed you, stream chat. Okay, you sent it stream chat, perfect. Cool. Yeah, you can bounce. You don't have to stay here. Oh, you know what? You give me localhost. So localhost, I don't know if you saw that. I think you meant it. You're going to have to host it. You know that, right? If it's Game Maker, you're going to have to build it as a standalone HTML project. And then you're going to have to host it with something. I highly, highly recommend you check out Vercel. I'm on the $20 a month plan, but their free plan is super generous. And it will allow you not just to host any website like I do with my website here, but also full-on web games. So looks like your game is HTML, so it should be fine. Yeah, the link you sent is localhost 51264, which just is whatever service I have running on port 51264 locally. I don't actually have anything running there. No, it's free. Vercel's free. I swear to you, I'm paying $20 a month, but like the free version, I used it for months until I don't even know if I needed. I can't remember why I ended up upgrading, but trust me, it's free and super easy to set up if you have Claude, or you're talking about Claude, but I don't know if you have Gemini or whatever coding agent you have, just tell them you're trying to deploy to Vercel. And it's literally as easy sometimes as going project and then connect your GitHub, and it will show you all these projects that are in GitHub. These are all Next.js apps, my web apps, but if you have a static website, I'm sure it can figure it out. Just import it. I don't know. Again, they're not paying me. They should. Vercel sponsorship. No, but for us, it's you got to host it, and that's one way to do it. But yeah, you can do it any way you want. But yeah, I want to check out your game, so check it out. My friend also does Twitch.io hosting, like not Twitch. What's it? You guys know what I'm talking about? The .io, something. What is it called? Itch.io. Itch.io. I haven't been on here in a while, except to play his game, but this is like a indie web game host as well. So you can register here, and I'm almost certain they have Game Maker games on here. Just curious if anyone labels their stuff as Game Maker. There's like HTML5, right? So I've never tried to host anything here, just put everything on my own website, but there's a lot of built-in audience that comes with this. So it's like the Steam of indie web games. And they're not going to charge you, so you just upload your game right here. So I'd use one of those, and when you get it hosted, they'll come back. Send me a link. You should stick around in the Discord. I'm telling you, man, you'll learn some things. Too complicated? Yeah, if you're just messing around for yourself, maybe take a YouTube video or something. If you just want to show it off. But if you want others to play it, you're gonna have to send them either your code or host it somewhere. All right. Another thing, I removed the calendar that was on here. I kept the daily streak. Calendar didn't really make sense. Daily streak's okay. I honestly don't know if that motivates anyone to play the game. Maybe it does. Achievements or whatever they're called. Lifetime stats is here. Trophy case. Trophy case is still here. I haven't even got all of them yet. I don't even know if they all work. So if you're into that sort of thing, trophy hunting, it may be broke, and I apologize. But yeah, so I'm missing something in style, mastery, discovery. I have all the discoveries, and then progress. Don't know how to get those. I need to fix up this home screen. It's like a chaos. There's like a lot of stuff happening here, which I like, because like I love this today's challenge. They're like, hey, go beat Sass's score on this track, right? That's pretty cool. This is, your streak, which may or may not use. This, I don't know where to put it, but this is what tells you every URL is a track. Pick one and drive. So you pick one, or you can create your own URL. And nobody is going to go up here and type a URL, like, unless they really know that's part of like how it works. So I kind of want this, but again, I don't know how many people are using it. I mean, they must be, right? This is a Mario Kart track that Santiago made. Ooh. Yeah, so because I turned down the off-road, I think I could beat Santiago's score if I just tried a couple times. Maybe not a couple times, maybe a lot of times. Yeah, I gotta fix the straightaways though. Like, it just turns too much like that, or it's angled weird. Well, that was just me being dumb. All right, this is the one. Sorry, Santiago. Even with the off-road, I kind of think that's a good turn. Okay, that was too much, but like, because my off-road is turned down, like debuffed so much, or I guess buffed, I don't know. Whatever. I could beat it. Well, I say that. Prove it. That's cool. check out the map on here. All right. Well, that's the main thing I wanted to show. With Vibracer, the new track system is coming soon. Let's see where this left off. Oh, is this the track? Yeah, this is the track. So what's next? The strongest first slice candidate under the new scaffold is the post MVP field pass. Oh, you know what? I realized I changed this. This is Flatline. You choose. Don't stop believing. Actually, you know what? We're going to use my looper. So if you go to Flatline, and I'm going to use Spiral. Actually, we don't have to use Spiral because I just reset up Spiral. So Spiral in a go check out the repo, but Spiral. Sorry, I got to show you. So do you guys know what skills are? Codex, Claude. I think I talked about it a couple of times, but I don't know anyone watching now if you know this or not. But if you go to my repos, which I recommend, they're all open source mostly. All my games, they're here. Go ahead and clone them, fork them, whatever you want to do. Steal the code from them. But skills here has Codex and Claude style skills. This will explain how to install them and what each of them does. The one I'm talking about right now is under agents. There's a lot of sim links in here. Yeah, here it is. Okay. Plugins is where Claude, I think, recommends you put them. So that's why it's here. Oh yeah, because it's discoverable by the marketplace. So if you know what the marketplace is in Claude Code, and this is all the not that one. This is all the this is a description of all the skills that I have. Bootstrap and audit the structural discipline scaffold. So game design doc tree, coverage ledger, progress log, open questions, follow-ups, playtest gate. That takes a vision into a delivered system through small iterations whose state lives in Git, not the agent's head. Pairs with randroid loop and task tracking dots, which is another one of my skills that works off of a small repo called dots, which does small README files for task tracking. Cross tool works with Claude Code via Claude rules and Codex via per directory agents.md symlinks. So I actually reworked all my skills recently to use the latest learnings about skills, which is use rules. So that just pulls all the business logic out into separate files. So all the files actually end up, if we go look at Spiral, Claude plugin, that's just the version stuff. Commands, those are actually rules. I don't know why it's under commands. I don't know. Scripts, templates. This one's pretty complicated. Right. Okay. So the reason why these are all here is because when you start a new project where you want to use the Spiral method of development, it will create all these files. So the whole M- thing that I was super joking about, but also super serious about, ended up making into my agents MD when I started all these 2-week-long loops of those games. And so everyone inherited from Vibracer and it was in there. So it just kept getting copied over and I was like, okay, cool, keep it. So now it's it's the number one rule in Agents MD for any project that you start using my new Spiral skill. And Claude just refers back to agents. And then, so these are filled out by the agent iteratively as it adds new features. And so follow-ups is pretty obvious, right? I guess this explains it. So backlog spillover, discovered during implementation, keep items PR size when possible. So basically you originally plan your game through the GDD, you put all the design, you break out all the tasks in your GDD, but as you implement them, one common thing that Claude and Codex end up doing is they realize, well, because I decided to implement feature, we'll say Z this way, I need to kind of go back and change how I implemented feature C or A or whatever that came before. And so the follow-ups or it could just be anything that it discovers as it's developing. Maybe the design doc was created a month ago and now there's a new version of one of the libraries, whatever. The things that it discovers as it's building which is just normal part of development, you need a way to follow up on it. This is why I like doing a giant PRD up front and expecting that just to be the implementation that you use, like the requirements for your project for years. It just doesn't make sense. You need to iteratively work on your requirements and tasks. So the breakdown of tasks though end up coming in. So there's a progress log, so that they'll actually just track everything that you implement as you go. I'm trying to find open questions is obvious, things that maybe you need the human to look into, or you need like an agent spun up to go research. Here we go, implementation plan. So this explains the whole loop contract, how to pick a slice of work, when definition of done, and when the project's actually done as well. And what the current plan scope is. So you go to the docs G2D and the docs follow-up. Those combined is the current scope. How to play test it. Yeah, there's a lot here. So many people have different systems. I don't know if you ever heard of GStack for putting their agents on Rails, but it ends up being just a ton of markdown. So here's GStack. This is the founder, I think CEO of, I don't know, just read the README. I think he's the CEO of, what's that company called? Y Combinator. When I heard Karpathy say this, so this is the famous Andre, how do you say his name? Andre? I just call him Andre Karpathy's post about vibe coding, right? Well, this is actually after that. I don't think I've typed like a line of code probably since December, basically, which is extremely large change. This is on a podcast in March. When I heard Karpathy say this, I wanted to find out how. How does one person ship like a team of 20? Peter Steinberger built OpenClaw, 247K GitHub stars. Some of those are fake. Essentially solo with AI agents. The revolution is here. A single builder with the right tooling can move faster than a traditional team, right? So he's really selling this. So GStack is my answer. I've been building products for 20 years, and right now I'm shipping more products than I ever have. In the last 60 days, 3 production services, 40 plus shipped features part-time while running Y Combinator full-time on logical code change, M-, not raw LOC, not lines of code, which AI inflates. My 2026 run rate is 810 times my 2013 pace. So he wasn't a developer since 2013. It's been a while since he was like full-time developer. And he's doing 810 more lines of code, I think he's saying, logical lines of code. So he used to do 14 logical lines of code a day. Now he's doing 11,000, right? Year to date through April 18, 2026 has already produced 240 times the entire 2013 year, measured across 40 public plus private Gary Tan, that's his name, repos, including Bookface. After excluding one demo repo, AI wrote most of it. The point isn't who typed it, it's what shipped, which I agree with. That part. But I heard there's some good stuff in here. Like he's got different planning agents and stuff and review agents, different skills that spin up agents, whatever. And but I don't recommend taking anyone else's stack typically. And so I posted my spiral. You could think of that as my game stack, and it will continue to evolve, especially as the models and the harnesses evolve, Claude Code, Codex, to do some of that for you. I might pull some of those steps out. I don't know. And maybe some of those steps suck right now and are not actually useful. I have to measure that. I need to do some kind of evals on my skills. And Claude Code actually does have a way to evaluate skill changes. So maybe I'll do a stream on that at one point. But yeah, so I started finally building my stack, my R stack, we'll call it, randroid stack. No, I'm calling it a spiral because the iterative nature of doing these things is going to get you closer to the end. I don't know. It sounded cool. I'll come up with a better explanation of the name, but it does have to do with the iteration, and it has a lot of process, like a lot of steps. You guys saw all those markdown files. Anyways, let's get Claude working on flatline again real quick. Okay, so he picks 3 paths. I pick and ship one side. Okay, you choose. Don't stop until it's done. So that's what I was saying before I got completely distracted. All right, so in the same thing, I'm not gonna do spiral because we already set up all the spiral stuff. I'm actually just gonna do our loop implement. I don't even think I need, I don't know. We'll see what that does. I don't think I need to say implement. I think that's, whatever. That might be a spiral command. Getting my skills crossed in my head. All right. While that's going, it shouldn't take that long, but I do want to multitask here. Vibe City has been changing a lot. Vibe City. Oh, I never told you guys about Vibe City. Did I? No, I got a new game, guys. You haven't seen me in 2 days, and I got a new game. It's not even here. I gotta open it. Let's do that. Vibe City, also not great, even though I told it to start small. I told it to start small, and yet maybe it started too small. So let me show you. Vibe City is SimCity, kind of, right? A fully vibed city builder you can actually drive around in. That was the idea. So you take the road, that track editor stuff, and you add on top of that construction of residential and industrial buildings and power lines and power plants, right? And you just create a very, very slimmed down version of SimCity. And then because you have real roads, you can hop in the car and drive around. Like that was the basic idea. Will that be fun? I don't know. Why do you need to drive around at SimCity? I think some of the SimCities probably did that, right? SimCity 3D. Who knows if that's fun? It's like that Monopoly game where you can actually like get in your 3D character and roll the dice and then walk, down the board to the pieces. It's like cool, but how many people just skip it, So I don't know if this is going to be fun at all. And that's I'm kind of making the same mistake of these other two, Vibe Gear and Flatline, is that I'm not doing the first couple features myself or with Claude myself though. I'm just like vibing it all from the beginning, and so then it ends up coming out kind of bad. So here's the Vercel link. Okay, maybe it's updated. All right, so again, I'm using slugs. That's what the slash path is here. So I just do slash randroid, which I think I already created. We'll see. All right, so you start out, switch between streets and buildings, pick an entry, click the grid to place, press R or click rotate to spin the next placement, press E or click erase to clear. Alrighty, this is just like too much reading. Command Z, Control Z, undoes, sure. Oops, I didn't mean to swipe. All right, so this doesn't have all the track pieces. I need to go get some of the newer track pieces, but the idea that this is the track builder should be the same, right? And then you can drive it. And if I drive, it says place a road first, open the editor, and drop a straight piece on the ground to start your city. Okay, well let's listen to it. If I drop a straight piece and then drive, should work, right? Uh-oh, didn't work. Okay, why didn't it work? Well, I see an error there. Saving failed. But also, wait, that's a road? Interesting. What does a left turn look like? Huh. So it has a dot showing left. What does an S-curve look like? Well, that doesn't work. Gotta rotate that. It said I could hit R. So how do I do that? Highlight and hit R. It didn't work. R's rotate 260. It's not actually... Okay, no, it didn't rotate. Shit. All right, rotate. Okay, so you have to rotate and then place the piece. Okay, but the piece is already placed. Okay, so then I need to erase it. Definitely. This is why I should do the first features myself. Like test it like right after and give it feedback, because it goes off and builds a ton of stuff and it's just like going down the wrong path, So I don't know what this looks like because it didn't copy the actual editor that I told it to use from Vibe City that shows the piece. So annoying. So when I rotate it, I don't actually know if I have the right rotation. No, it's the wrong rotation. So then I have to undo that and then rotate again and then do this. There we go. Anyway, so that should be a valid track, or maybe it needs to close. Let me close the loop. Maybe it's like, did I mess that up? Wish I could rotate. Very tedious. Then undo erasing. I just want to close the loop. All right, so it went the wrong way. So let's rotate. this much. Nope. One more. Maybe I need a left 90. Oh, this is so annoying. Maybe I need a left 90. That's what I'll do. I'll figure out the piece first. So I think it is a right 90, but let's do this. Nope. That one. Okay, we want a 0 degree right 90. Now I can undo all these. Boom. Do a straight. And right 90? Nope. Rotate right 90? Nope. I don't know why you have a right and a left 90, because I think you just rotate a left 90 to be a right 90. 270. Probably could have thought about that for a second and figured it out, but oh well. This erase toggle, come on. I think I need a straight, and then I need a left 90, come on. Nope. Right 90? I'm already rotated, so let's try 90. No. Where is that? Okay, like this. There we go, that one. What happened to the undo? Oh, I moved to the other line. That's annoying. Jeez. I'm doing all this knowing it's not actually going to save, but it says closed loop. I don't know if it didn't say that before, right? If I undo. Yeah, open chain. So maybe now that it's a closed loop, even though it didn't save, maybe it will work. And there's no way to copy this. I'd have to build it again, right? Screenshot. Oh, and then there's buildings. Let's put a factory. Put a factory here. A shop here. A small house here. A mid house here. What am I missing? That's it? Okay. Oh, and then I didn't rotate, so I have no idea where they connect. It doesn't actually look like it matters. Drive. And it says place a road. So all of that for nothing. It's borked. So Vibe City's over here working like nonstop. Right here. Been literally working for 21 hours. That's not true actually, because I had my laptop closed. And so this is counting real time, even though it wasn't. I don't think it was working during that. I mean, maybe I had caffeine turned on. Let's just go check. Vibe City's right here. We can go look at commits. 10, 20, 30, 42. Like it just runs. I don't touch it. It just runs and runs and runs. 1 hour, 18 hours. Yeah, so it slept for 17 hours. But then I started it up, or I opened my laptop or something, right? So we need to fix this. We need to fix the save thing. My screenshot tool broke. I need to buy another license. Okay, there's my screenshot. And then I'm going back, going back. You need to fix saving. You know what I just realized? I think I know what's going on with saving. I didn't even look at the code, and I'm pretty sure it probably doesn't have the Vercel key. Okay, it's right here. Yeah, so it probably needs, so it's in Vercel, obviously. I played it. It was hosted, but it probably doesn't have the data store. Let's see, storage. 5 year. Yeah, so it doesn't have a KV store. Let's go tell it, fix saving. If you need a KV store like Vibe City, then use the Vercel CLI. All right, and then what's he working on? He's implementing, so he's looping, using the randroid loop, I think. He's on loop 64, and part of the loop, part of the spiral, is that it opens a PR, waits for Copilot to do its review, addresses the review, and then eventually merges, waits for the So just merge, and then it checks out main, polls, and it makes sure all the changes made it to the main, and then it watches any CD that happened, like any actions that are running in GitHub. All right, but it finished or interrupted it pretty much. So acknowledging the user. PR64 just merged. Now I'll investigate the saving issue and how VibeRacer wires up its KV store. Perfect. So I told you to go look at VibeRacer. I've set up the KV store for at least one project using the CLI. I've also done it manually, but then you need to set these variables in your environment and in GitHub. Oh, I should have told it to use the GitHub API as well, but I think it will figure it out, or the GitHub CLI. For sub project exists, let me link it and check existing environment variables. So locally it's trying to link to the existing project. It just did that. And do not print any freaking environment variables, please. Error, storage is not a valid target directory or subcommand. Did you mean usage? Probably need a skill for this, because I've done this before, and it's just trying to figure out the CLI for Vercel on its own. But because I've done it, I should have a skill, so it doesn't have to figure it out again and again and again. And that should go in Spiral. It's part of the setting up the project. All right, well, while that figures that out, let's look at randroid.dev. So randroid.dev, it added the 3 new games: Vibe City, Flatline, Vibe Gear 2. Vibe City was already there. Or Vibe, too many vibes. Vibe Racer was already there. Slide in the newest first order alongside Vibe Racer. What do you mean alongside? Should be vertical list. Okay. Dev tools, so I added Godot Claude skills placed near the existing skills card. Why? I think I just didn't have it registered, and then when I fixed up my skills, it added this. Hero stats. Oh, why? Make sure you added the new spiral skill. That one is important. Okay, and then it said it added the join the dojo banner. Oh, I love that. Good idea. Join the dojo above the GitHub CTA. Oh, I already had a call to action for GitHub. So now we have one for YouTube and Discord. Blurple. Blurple. Is that really a color? Isn't that just purple? Isn't blue and... Oh my god, I don't know my colors. Don't make fun of me. Blurple. Never ever heard someone say blurple. It's a funny word though. The YouTube link uses sub confirmation equals 1, so the subscriber modal pops. Okay, that might be annoying for people clicking it, but if you're telling them to subscribe, then it kind of makes sense. Added YouTube and Discord links to the footer with right padding on, so Discord doesn't slide under the floating feedback button. All right, did it actually push though? So it auto deploys the Vercel once it pushes the main. So this is looking at the new skill. All right, I'm gonna go check if it's updated the website. Skills. Oh, it's still doing that probably. Go to the top. Could have clicked a button, I guess. Vibrator's still at the top, so it might still be deploying. It may not have pushed. Plenty of ways to check this. Let's start with the code. Story card. It's adding a whole new story card for the skill. That's interesting. I kind of like that. Instead of just adding to the skill card. So this is the, where was it? Tools. So these are things that are not playable. Tools. We had skill already, skills, but it's going to add a new card just for Spiral. I like that. Oh, and then it's calling Claude in Chrome. It's testing locally. Beautiful. Oh, I didn't even notice. Yeah, it's testing local over here. I'm not doing that. That's Claude. So Claude scrolled down. See, I can stop. I have this button to stop Claude. It's looking at Spiral right next to skills. Beautiful. I kind of want it higher up though. I want to like highlight it. Oops. Where are we? yes, there's local files, but I don't know if that was the change it just made or what. Move spiral to the top of the list of tool cards since it is new. Oh, see you, squirrel. Yeah, I have no idea how to do it. I am just going to work on it and add it to Steam eventually. Oh, okay. Well, let me know if you ever want me to look at it. I can help. Oh man, I'm a half hour over. I said I was going to do an hour stream. It's an hour and a half. I started a little late, so what do we? We probably had like an hour. All right, this was chaotic as usual. No, I love it though. Keep hopping in, folks. I want to hear from you guys. So if you're watching this later as a VOD or whatever, or a short, please do come visit the live stream and tell me about what you're working on, and we can share reviews, how fun our games are or not. You can rip mine apart if you really want to. You can go look at the code on my GitHub and tell me it sucks. Whatever. Yeah, share your skills with me, how you're using Claude or Codex. I'll probably use Codex in one of these other videos. I use both. Yeah, especially if I run out of usage on one, I'll use the other one. But today I just opened up a bunch of Claudes, but I'll use Codex next time just to show you that works just as well. All right, so the story card was updated, so I'm gonna say commit and push. Okay, so it added a open question about the KV store Upstash. Vibe City needed a KV store wired up so production saves stop failing. Vibe Racer already has this provisioned via Vercel Marketplace. Vibe City should share that store, could share that store. Key prefixes already differ, city versus track, or get its own dedicated Upstash resource. Options: share Vibe Racers. B, provision a dedicated Upstash. C, provision via Upstash dashboard. Recommended default A, ships immediately. No, I want to keep the KV stores unique per project going forward. Update your memory and the data skills spiral skill agents.md. Your memory, update your agents.md. Oops. Yeah, so whenever it does something that I don't like, hopefully I catch it eventually, and I tell it to go update its memory, its rules, its agents.md. In this case, an agents.md gets pre-populated when we use the spiral skill, so I'm going to go have it update that one as well. It's checked out locally, so it can update both projects, no problem. Flatline. Okay, flatline I called randroid's loop. Get back to that. Editor, cut in here. Talking about flatline. This is the shooter. This is the rubber hose style flat billboard enemies. So first question. So randroid's loop. I don't know if you can see it. This is talking about remote, but the last command I actually ran was the randroid loop command. First thing it asks you is a series of questions here. First thing it does is ask you a series of questions here using the ask user, whatever it's called, skill that's built into Claude Code. What should happen after each task? So you could do a PR and merge, open a PR, or commit only, or push, commit and direct push to current branch. You can do PR and merge. That's what Spiral recommends. Should I use fresh context or keep context? I used to do fresh context, but then, I mean, the context is huge now. It's 1 million. But if you don't have auto compact, it becomes a problem. I'll just do fresh context. Any specific directions for this run? Post MVP fills pass first, non-fully autonomous. So It took, I guess, my conversation to come up with this question. Prioritize the cluster MCVB field pass art direction readability 39 HUD for the strongest first slice candidate under the new scaffold. Loop pick slices itself per selection rule. Yes. That's what I want. Do that one. Cool. And then I think it asked one more question. I had to do this one as a separate thing because there was a bug in Claude Code where it asks questions, and if you try to type a number, it would actually just choose one of the options that had that number. But this question is how many iterations? So if I enter 5 iterations, it would just choose or I guess if I choose one iteration, it would choose the first option, whatever. So I made this a separate question, but I actually want infinite. That's not actually infinite. It will go for days sometimes, but usually, like the last time I did this, it ran out of usage for the week or day. No, it was like for a couple hours or something. So it just stops itself. But we're talking a good 200 commits or something. You can get a lot out of it before you hit any limits, depending on what you're doing. I'm also running other projects stuff right now. And you can do the same thing in Codex. The skill's a little different. The way it asks questions are a little different, but essentially does the same thing. All right, so that's going to loop. I redid this project after the fact, flatline after the fact with the spiral setup, and I told it the game's not fun, and so hopefully it will autonomously work, but not just work towards an MVP, but a full-fleshed game. We'll see. If not, I'm going to have to go in there and just start over and do it by hand. Not by hand, but like feature by feature, play it and be like, what's fun about this? Let's enhance that. I just can't get away from this like autonomous thing because I just have ideas and I wanted to go build it and get it playable, and then I'll play it and then I'll iterate more from my phone, probably being like, hey, this is really cool, but make the impact of the bullet bigger, add blood splatter, like I want to like pick out features and then have Claude just go do a PR with that feature and auto reviews and stuff. Before I can do that, I kind of have to like get a decent game going. I don't know. Vibe City is also, I guess it's not as bad as I thought it was. It probably just was the KV store, but I am annoyed that it didn't use the actual graphics for the track builder. Okay, so already pushed to the feature bed. C is rerunning the new commit. KV environment wire up agent. Okay, but did you? Okay, so it fixed the spiral skill commit problem that I talked about. That's great. Agent gains a new rule 11, one backlog store per project, right? And then this one, assumptions, the shared store state landed first because saving was actively broken. That's not the skill. This is the progress log. Okay. Saving was actively broken? Oh, right, it was. Yeah, but it's like, oh, it's production issue. You gotta fix it right away. But it's like, no, this is just early dev, early MVP. It's fine. You can break it. It can stay broken. Migrate Vice City to a dedicated Upstash store. Blocks release. Did you migrate? I want our own KV store. Install Vercel Claude plugins. Oh, cool. It knows what I'm doing. Manage Claude plugins. Discovery, Vercel. Oh, but okay. It's funny. So I didn't say this earlier, but for my skills, Vercel also made skills.sh. Skills.sh is a great place to find people's skills. And I said this before, but I think there's a short about it. But just be a little careful if you do install something from here. Personally, I've never really installed anything that's not already officially in the Claude marketplace, or I'm very careful. But you can find my skills here is what I'm trying to say. And because I think all skills have to be, like the Git repo has to be public. So I think you can go look at people's Git repos before you install, and you should do that. But here you go. These are my skills. That's weird. Oh, it's opening up UI. I was showing you a different Vercel. The skill. Godot Unreal Loop. So the new one is not here. It takes a while to sync, I think. But yeah, this will link. You can go to the actual repository when you click on the skill. Cool. So we should get a new one soon in Vercel that shows Spiral. But Vercel itself is hosting that skills.sh. But if you look at that Claude hint, it was telling me to install from their marketplace, from Claude's marketplace, I believe. So I'm looking for plugins. That's basically a skill that's built into Claude Code. I don't know why they call it a plugin. Plugin can be a skill. It could be a agent. What else can it be? It's like a few different things. Like it could be config, and it includes scripts. I guess so can skills. Yeah, it's weird that they call them plugins, but because they're installed here through the marketplace, they're called plugins. I don't know, but you do need some extra stuff beyond just the regular skill setup. You saw it in my skills. The marketplace had a Claude plugins folder or something like that with like a JSON versioning file and things. All right, anyways, I was searching for Vercel Claude plugins official. Okay, so this is from the Claude plugins marketplace. This is from the skills marketplace, which is skills.sh, and this is mine. I don't know why this came up when I searched for Vercel. I must have had that in my description. That is funny. That is mine, right? I wonder if anyone installed it. Funny. All right, Vercel. So I want this one, the official one. Make sure you trust plugin before installing, updating, or using it. Topic does not control your MCP. So I will do what I preach, and I will look for it. This is not the market. This is not the Claude marketplace, but this is the find skill. Super meta. Vercel CLI, but this is it. Let's go to the repository. Cool, and they should have a Claude plugin. Vercel runtime skills. Sanity plugin, Cypress plugin. They should give you the link to the repo. Like, how do I know which one this is? Claude plugins official. I think they have a repo for that. Claude plugin official. This is why I prefer the Vercel skills. There it is. And it is from Anthropics, plural. Claude Code plugin directory. All right, we want to look for Vercel. Does this not include the actual plugins? External plugins. Plugin directory submission form. Okay, that's the submission form. Where's the list of plugins? External plugins. Damn, see, they don't have that many. Where's Vercel? Vercel's not even on here. Suspicious. MCP servers, Vercel MCP, marketplace. Here's their listing. Vercel deployment platform integration, manage deployments. All right, so is this the one that? Oh, they have it as a separate. No, the Vercel repo. Let me look at this. Vercel plugin. Okay, where was I looking before? Vercel skills? I don't know. Actually, I can go check. I looked for Vercel CLI, which is at Vercel. What the heck's the difference? Vercel versus Vercel plugin. This must just be for Claude only. Claude Code supported. I'm so curious. See, now it has the Claude plugin. Comprehensive Vercel ecosystem plugin relational knowledge graph skills for every major product specializations of Vercel conventions. Turns any AI agent into Vercel expert. Okay. Yeah, this is what I want, and it is from Vercel. Okay. So do some due diligence. But yeah, install for you, user scope, install for all collaborators. I don't want to check it into the repo, so I'll just install for me. That'll be every terminal on my computer will use that going forward. Great. And then I got to reload, it says. So let's do that. Reload plugins. Cool. And now I could say Vercel CLI. So it is Vercel CLI. What's the difference here? Vercel environment. Vercel CLI. What if I just click that? It will tell me what options I have. What kind of skills are built in here? Or is it a skill? If it's already, it's a plugin that has a bunch of skills, maybe. The Vercel plugins marketplace should now know the right install path. Let me consult it. Okay, CLI started a marketplace install, but punted to the browser for additional setup required. That's the one-time upstash Vercel auth handshake. The provision didn't finish. No new resource yet. I need you to do one of finish the browser, provision the new upstash directly. Either path, once two credentials are live. All right, so it just actually popped up again. Create database. So I'm gonna fall through. I guess I can show you guys. I don't think this is anything secret. If it is, I'll have to recreate it. But yeah, let's just Washington DC is fine. We don't need an extra read region that's going to cost us. I don't want to evict anything, but yeah, you may want to look at some of these settings if you had a ton of users. I do not. Pay as you go. Again, I'm going to get screwed one of these days because I do not want to auto upgrade. Let's see. Auto upgrade. Enable to auto upgrade your plan when reaching a plan limit. Can be modified to open an upstash. No, I don't want that. That's dangerous. So this is gonna, or maybe it's not dangerous. Maybe it's, they're saying it's cheaper. Oh, I see. So if I get to a point maybe where it's better to just pay $10 flat rate. I don't know. One of these days it's gonna screw me. I'm gonna get too much traffic. But yeah. 0.2 cents per 100,000 commands. So to this day, out of all my projects that use a KV store, I don't think I've paid a dime outside of my normal. I must have paid a dime actually, now that I say it, because it's it's like 2 cents for something. So it adds up, I think. It's super fair to, not fair. It's super good deal for indies. Definitely check it out. All environments, sure. I don't care what you name it. This project already has an existing environment available with the name Redis URL. Well, that's annoying. I think it did try to create it before. Or maybe it just did it right now, since we've been on this screen. Why is this screenshot tool not working? Ooh. That was weird. Looks like it just worked. Maybe it deleted the duplicate for me. Let's go back to the terminal. I don't know what happened. All right, CLI opens a browser tab in the Upstash Marketplace setup page each time and waits for you to complete the provisioning UI. Before it returns, the CLI cannot finish this step alone. That's the Marketplace handshake. Rule 11 calls out. Please complete the open browser tab. I did that. Confirm. Once you confirm done, hello, where's my screenshot? Take a screenshot. Capture. All right. I'm so annoyed. I'm going to use the built-in screenshot. It's so frustrating. Where'd it go? I lost. Oh, because it used like Chrome or something, right? Where the heck? Where'd the tab go? Whatever. It's right here. I don't know why I pay for a tool when I could just use that. So annoying. So annoying. Okay, now my desktops are getting crazy. There it is. It opened a new window. That's what threw me off. So I use the screenshot tool and it's not on my clipboard. That's why I pay for a screenshot tool. There's got to be a way to natively have the macOS clip tool save it to your clipboard whenever you take a screenshot. There's got to be, right? Comment if you've done that. So annoying. Gonna close this. Close all these Chromes. We're working in Dia, guys. There we go. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? I literally just signed into the stupid screenshot tool and it just signed me out again or something. Or completely borked my... Okay, that's working. Image, window, capture. So annoying. Why? Why? I'm going to... So when I use the manual UI Snagit, it doesn't copy it to my clipboard. But this, the shortcut, if you look at it, edit, saves preset, copies to clipboard, right? But it's not working. The shortcut's not working. Something is stealing my shortcut, I think. Doesn't matter. I copied it now, right? Yes, okay. Cut that. Cut all that. Annoying. Frustrating. Excellent. 5 city KV is provision. It just needs to the connect click on the row to attach. Okay, so maybe it created it, but it couldn't connect because it already exists or whatever, right? That thing that it was trying to warn us about before, that I was trying to take a screenshot of, and then this thing closed. Okay, now my shortcut works. Great. I'm not going to complain. Just glad it works. It removed the variables. Cool. It already had some that it tried to create manually. Got rid of the variables. Now I hit connect. I get this error. In fact, maybe that's why I get the error, because it already had some stuff. Dialog is showing state environment state from before the deletes. Okay, so that's why I deleted. I just did it. If you knew you needed that, why didn't you do it sooner? Try again. There we go. Oh man, that was painful. Okay, good. It hit the keys. Watch, Claude's gonna burn the credentials now when it pulls in the logs. Better not. Oh, this is Flatline. Let's switch over to Vibe City. You know what's funny? I was trying to set up... That's so annoying. Is it... Okay, tell me I didn't just do that on the wrong project. Vibe City. Now let me verify. Okay, that is Vibe City. Flatline is doing... Do you guys remember where... Oh, the infinite loop just kicked off. State initialized, dots queue is empty, so iteration 1 will be the proactive improvements path. Access to 19 partial coverage rows and start shipping a slice. Dots being the task tracker. Slice being one of the spiral steps that we declared earlier when we... Well, you didn't see it, but I initialized this project, reinitialized it with the spiral, my plugin, my skill. Cool. Oh, I thought that was a key. I was going to get pissed. All right. Website should be done. Let's go looking on that. This is what it's like to be a developer in these days. Just 5 things at once. Close that. Close that. Close that. Website's at the top. Refresh. tools, spiral, and it takes you to the skill. Perfect. If you want to know more about it, I kind of skimmed it. I kind of skipped over exactly all the steps, but no, I told you this is in the description for the skill. It uses these three things: spiral substrate, the contract, vision, ledgers, and gates the worker consumes and updates. The worker being randroid loop. Without spiral, randroid loop runs against muscle memory. There is no copy-pastable contract, no anti-flatline guardrails. So when I created spiral, I had Claude retrospect itself on what went wrong with Vibe Gear and Flatline, and Flatline was like the worst one. So I gave those retrospectives to the Claude session that was creating the skill for me, and so now it has these anti-flatline guardrails. Which, if you're reading this, you don't know that Flatline is a game, right? You don't really know what that means. Chapter granular coverage, missing qualitative gate. Those are some of the problems with Flatline. No audit pass for an existing repo. Yeah, so if you have a fresh project and you want to try the spiral method of developing games, it will probably pull some stuff from my public repos, but like things that I do all the time. But feel free to change it. You could even fork this skill if you wanted to. Again, this is at Randroid's Dojo GitHub repo, which now, let me check. I guess we already had the GitHub link down here, but now we have YouTube and Discord. Hover over it, and this should actually subscribe us. Boom. How am I not subscribed to myself? Something went wrong. Can't subscribe to yourself. So sad. In Discord, I don't know if I'm logged in or not, but you guys should check out our Discord. Here it is. 11 members. Dang, we're growing. But yeah, come talk games with us. Come talk vibe code. And yeah, you can get to the GitHub here. But we just added these. Join the dojo. Watch and hang out. New videos on YouTube, live chat, and Discord. If you're into AI-driven dev, agent workflows, or game building, come say hi. Yes, exactly. Subscribe on YouTube. Join the Discord. I like the hover effect. Very, very clean. Built by humans and agents. Every project in this portfolio was built with AI agents in the loop. Is that an M dash? Is that an M dash on my website, guys? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to freak out. It's saying it's built by agents, okay? You can use M dashes. Mob programming 3D games with agents to writing Godot automation frameworks. See how the sausage gets made. Explore and GitHub. Cool. All right, well, we did a lot of little things. I'm going to check in on a couple of things, and then I really should call it. I know I already said that, but it's true. So website's updated, great. We didn't do anything else in Vibe Racer, but there was a couple things we tagged as bugs. So if anyone's watching, put those in the Discord or something, because I already forgot what they were. I'll fix them for my phone. Okay. This was Vibe City. Vibe City set up the KV store. Cool. The interim shared store state and commit is overridden by commit 3 before main merging. The PR lands only the dedicated state. Skill local only, waiting for push approval. Yeah. Make sure the skill updates is clean and then push it. Production redeployed. Okay, so even though I didn't commit, it redeployed Vibe City. So I should be able to test it. Vibe City. Welcome to Vibe City. You could play it on the website, but I'm just gonna actually go here. Oh, wow. Must have created this during test. Like, it really did not want to reuse my stuff from Vibe City. That's insane. Or from Vibe Racer. I wish I would have had a way to copy this. let's just do a left. Let's do a, can I go left turns all the way? Will that work? No. Right turn? Hey, that worked. And then left. No, I have to go straight. Straight. Now left. Wrong way. Okay. It's not going to be right. Right rotated? Nope. It's probably left rotated. Keep going. This one. I went to it. I shouldn't have. I did it again. Yeah, I really hate this. There we go. So in the other editor, you can just click on it and it'll rotate. It's so much better. Hey, got that one right. Save failed. Still? That's annoying. And I don't think I can see the... Oh, it said save that time. Okay, but that's not the new map. Yeah, it's not safe. It lied to me. Whatever. I will try it out once the code's pushed. Now live on skills, standing by, want me to check the PR, CI, and merge one screen and pause. Future Spiral Bootstrap projects will inherit Rule 11. Yes. All right. Flatline, I want to see what it did in its first PR after we adopted the spiral methodology. PR 48 merged. Okay. Let's go look at it. Were we talking flatline? Yeah, flatline. Flatline, flatline, flatline. Let's look at that last commit. May the 4th be with you. All right. Feature shooting. Add per shot impact burst and bolt terminus. Each hit scan, bolt spawns a brief expanding ring at its impact point. Hit rings are red and slightly larger. Misses are teal and quicker. Capped at 12 concurrent rings. Cleared on run, reset, and unmount. Closes the game design doc field pass gap on hit flash and miss feedback effects. Fixed shooting. Impact spawns reliably at long range and impact cap is firm. Time to live... Bolt time to live ms microseconds. Now scales... Or is it... Yeah, microseconds. With travel distance. Travel distance divided by 0.075 ms. Plus a fade buffer. So long miss shots reach remaining distance less than equals 0. Before time to live expires and always spawn an impact ring. Shot impacts limit now trims while length is greater than or equals 12, so the post-push count never exceeds the documented cap of 12 concurrent rings. All right, so there should be some rings that I see when you shoot, when you hit something now. Hey, and the screen flashed red, and then now there's no, I guess there is still some flashing, but it looked different when I hit the guy, right? It's like, that looks different than that. Oh, am I getting damage? Let me see. I'm not going to shoot. I'm getting damage. That's why the screen flashes. Enemy missed. Enemy hit for dead. Enemy missed. Enemy wind up. Do I die? Health 40. Health 30. Let's see if I die. 20. 10. Hey! I could submit my score. I actually can't because the mouse is still control, or the mouse is gone. You have to hit escape to get your mouse back. Well, that's a bug. So that's one thing that I can like start iterating on issues like that. But This one's not going to have a KV store. If the other one didn't have a KV store, I doubt this. Well, maybe it does. No, you. Well, I didn't get a score, though. That's probably why. Pop, 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 pop. And then all-time, daily. Yeah, I think the KV KV store is not set up for this project either. Yeah, that's slightly better. It's still not a Doom-like rubber hose style graphics game, but hey, I'll take the wins where I can get them. Let's see. We'll let this run overnight and all day tomorrow maybe, and just come back and see if it's any fun. If not, I'm gonna have to start prompting it. Like, we need more enemies, we need more weapons, we need, what makes it fun? We'll figure it out. Vibe City's still running stuff. 65 merged, main check. So it's checking main, resuming the implementer loop. Okay, and then this guy is off to the races. Okay, well, we'll check in on Vibe City tomorrow as well. And for Vibe Racer, I'll do more for my phone, and I'll show you guys the updates. But the main thing is what we went over in the beginning, which is completely redoing the map maker, the editor, track editor, so that we can get a couple fixes around the diagonals, like leading to you being detected as off-road, but also just getting more precision here with the angles, so that we can get that gray map instead of the green and purple one you're seeing here. Get that gray one, that level of precision. Let's see where it left off. 3 new threads addressed in commit. This is talking about the feedback. So let's go look at the PR itself. This is not looping. It is Vibe Racer pull request. Okay, so I'd fix that. Fix that. Outdated. Fixed. All right. Let's squash and merge this. So that worked off of a branch, but because this has all of the planning that we did, I don't know. Oh man, I guess I could have told it to save its plan and check it in the master. I don't know if I can continue looping. What remains from our grand plan? Yeah, one of the annoying things about working off the cloud environment is that it's tied to a specific branch. I wonder if the web version lets you change the branch. The phone version doesn't. And since it's already merged, any commit we push to it isn't actually, just keeps going back here. Any commit we push to this branch is not actually going to show up in any PR because PR is closed. And it's not going to go create a new branch, I don't think. Whereas when you're working with Claude Code locally, it will use work trees, create branches for specific tasks, and go back to main and check main. This cloud environment is a lot more locked down, and it just sticks to a branch. It's really annoying. All right, remaining stage 1 proper. Oh, there's more. The grand plan from the continuous angle spec status. Done. Flex angle straight piece. Discrete angle shortcut will become a constrained shortcut once continuous angle ships or retire. Stage 0 substrate. Frame type. Frame port of. Frame connect. Epsilon. Watcher. Validator runs. You know what I'm going to do. Can I just copy? Okay, great. Copy. My Claude Code session from earlier, where I validated the plan and got this awesome artifact. I have it. I'm gonna talk to it. Risks I'd budget for during stage 1 proper. I love when it talks about how long things are going to take. It's like, this is going to take at least 4 weeks. It's like, it does it in 2 PRs in 4 hours. All right, ship what's on branch first. Stage 0 plus 0.5 is a clean self-contained substrate. I already did, right? One thing to do before stage 1 starts while it's fresh. Write down the canonicalization rule, v2 piece, whose transform projects exactly back to integer cells hashes identical to its v1 form. What's exactly? Bit equal float. Within a projection epsilon of the stage 2, user rotates a piece 0.0001 and back. Does the hash flip? The answer is probably snap to grid on save when within E, then hash. But pinning the rule before writing the converter avoids the converter and the canonicalizer disagreeing. Also worth to cite. So this is doing all the migration stuff. It's converting from the grid-based track pieces to our any angle possible pieces and back. And because I hash all the tracks and layouts in order to version each slug's track, so like /randroid has its own track, but it has an old version of the track and a new version, and I added turns and I removed this, and each version gets its own high scores, and you're supposed to be able to switch back to old versions, but I think you can only do that if you know the hash, so probably need some UI for that. But regardless, this is going above and beyond, but it's fine. If we can keep other old tracks working, that's great. I'll paste this back. These guys are going to talk to each other. But the one thing, still on file as flex straight follow-ups in progress log, Bezier smooth flex straight joins cosmetic, a Miami style template that uses flex straights for the back straight. Good demo once stage 1 lands. Want me to start stage 1? Or ship what's on the branch first? I already merged. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have merged. That's my bad. If I didn't merge, I could just add everything to the one PR, which is, a no-no when you're working with humans, but with a bot, why not add 1,000 changes iteratively to one branch? Or do trunk-based development. What's holding you back? Merge straight to main. Or commit straight to main. No one's paying for this code. This is like a side project. It's just fun, Agreed on the reasoning. Let me check CI status and pre-write those rules where stage 1 will pick them up. Cool. I'm going to see if it can write down everything. And then I'm going to switch to a local Claude Code session, but I'm going to remote control it from my phone instead of doing it from the cloud. I just need to make sure it has all the context from here before we... Unmodified files, low priority, gamepad, rumble, continuous, angle, stage 1, pre-decisions. What's this file? So it's an existing file, follow-ups. Okay, yeah, so it's using Spiral. Cool. I don't know if it's directly using Spiral. I think Spiral copied the setup that I use for Vibracer organically. Like I created this through just looping with Claude and Codex on Vibe City, and then I reverse engineered or created this spiral system using these. And the reason why I think that is because I think follow-ups has an underscore in it in Spiral. I'm not sure. Sometimes this gets stuck, especially on phone, and then I end up going to the web, like on my browser on my phone, because it will like be prompting me or asking me a question or something, and for whatever reason, Claude mobile app just is really slow, like doesn't get the response or whatever. So yeah, I refreshed and it was done. So yeah, that does happen. If you're ever sitting there for a while, try refreshing. I agreed on the reasoning. Cool. I'm gonna put this over here. So branch is at this commit, ready for merge whenever you click the button. Deferred to stage 2. Okay. Yeah, so the problem is it committed to a branch that we already merged, And if I go and try to recreate it, maybe it will let me, maybe it won't. I'm guessing it was this one 2 minutes ago. Okay, it does see diffs, and this is follow-ups. Okay, so I can create another PR, but usually there's a button in here to create the PR, but obviously this one already had a PR. It does have the duplicate history, though, I believe. So I'm going to tell it to rebase. Pull the latest main. I don't know if I could do this on the cloud environment or not. And rebase our branch. Both rules look right. 2 flags before merge, neither blocking, both worth pinning while it's fresh. Rule 1, the asymmetric epsilons on position versus this on rotation isn't wrong, but it's worth knowing why. This of a cell width is a submicron, basically exact float. Radians is this, which is loose by comparison. The asymmetry is probably right because rotation accumulates more representation errors, sine, cosine, round trips. But if the constants are sitting next to each other in piece geometry, .ts, a future contributor will see them and wonder. One line comment explaining the asymmetry will save a confused PR comment in 6 months. Rule 2, the tag survival contract. Edits clear the tag only if the new transform fails. Rule 1 is the right policy. The trap is implementing it as a post-edit check. Every operation reruns Rule 1 against the new transform and rederives the tag. If anyone implements it as a manual tag management, e.g. rotate handler clears the tag, translate handler clears it, undo restores it, it'll go wrong on the first op someone forgets to update. The implementation should be the tag is derived property, computed from transform, never stored. Then operations that preserve grid alignment preserve the tag. It's automatic. And the editor test reduces to place piece run op assert is v1 projectable piece matches the algebraic expectation. If the follow-up stock says tag is derived not stored explicitly, stage 1 can't accidentally implement it the brittle way. The fallback, if tag can't survive every op all piece emit transform, is fine as a safety valve, but if the tag is derived, it survives every op by construction, the fallback should never trigger. Merge it, good work. This is the kind of substrate PR that's invisible when it lands and prevents a year of pain. Isn't it crazy? When bots like keep building and reviewing each other and and catching the edge cases and improving, improving the architecture, they get pretty sophisticated. It's really thinking through this migration, this convert v1 to whatever v2, I guess we're calling our new track editor. It's funny because I could just dump all the old tracks and start fresh, but since people are actually creating tracks, this is kind of better. I am going to probably clean up a lot of the v1 code after this is done, refactor to make sure we're not keeping a bunch of cruft around. All right, PR98's contents are now on main. The branch is exactly the stage 1 pre-decisions. Okay, so the new branch that I created should actually be just 1 commit. Cool. Or not branch, but the PR I'm about to create. And then honestly, I didn't know if this was saying that double check some things or if it was saying these are the rules. Both rules look right. 2 flags. Okay, he flagged 2 things that he wants to fix. 2 things he wants to flag. Cool. Never mind. I get it. Oh no. What happened? I went from being 30 minutes overdue to almost an hour and a half. I gotta go, guys. Actually, I do know what happened. I bet you, if you clip together all the times where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go. Okay, I gotta go. Okay, one more thing. You would see just, I got a problem, guys. I got a problem. I got a problem. Edited follow-ups. Make sure the entire plan and reasoning is documented because I'm going to start a fresh coding session and all the chat history will be gone. All right, well this is running in the cloud, so I can check this from my phone. So I'm gonna go. Thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. And what can I say? It's all blurry. Come to the dojo, hang out, go to the Discord, show me your games, I'll show you mine. Appreciate you. Please like and subscribe on YouTube once the video comes out, once the shorts come out. Really do appreciate it. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers, and we're at 366 last I checked. So way better than we were at the start of the year, where we were just plateaued for like 2-3 years. But we got a long ways to go to get to 500 at this rate. So anything you guys can do to share and get others to subscribe and follow anyone who's interested in this sort of stuff, I would appreciate it. All right, until next time. Peace.